Good afternoon, curling fans from Belleville and around the world. Welcome to TSL's coverage of the BrokerLink Mixed 2019 Provincial Championships, coming to you live from the Quinte Curling Club. My name is Barb Williamson, and I'm joined by Rebecca Wickershure, a three-time junior mixed participant. Welcome, Rebecca.
Thanks, Barb. Very excited to be back here. It's draw 6 of the competition here in beautiful Belleville, Ontario. Another important matchup here on Sheet 2 this afternoon. First up, we've got from the Thornhill Curling Club throwing the yellow stones. Oh, my apologies. Dundas Curling Club, Team AULD. They'll be throwing the red stones, skipped by Kathy Auld. Third, Brandon Corbett. Second, Lori Eddy, and lead, Jess Bayshard. Their opponents will be Team BOWSER from the Thornhill Curling Club, skipped by Dawn BOWSER. Third, Danielle Inglis. Second, Sean Harrison, and lead, Lauren Harrison. Both these teams, Barb, sitting at 3 and 2 in the standings, so a very important matchup.
That is for sure, and let's just review those standings briefly before we get underway here. We have one team sitting alone in first place at a 5-0 record, and that is Team Tuck. Then in a log jam at 3 wins and 2 losses, the two teams that we're featuring today, Team AULD and Team BOWSER, and joining them is also Team Buke. And then right behind them, and not out of the game yet, is Team Hegstead and Team Collier, and they are sitting at 2 wins and 3 losses. And then the final 2 teams in our event are at a record of 1 and 4, and those are Team Bolton and Team Villard. So there's still 6 teams in the running here for 3 playoff spots. I think we're going to have a really great afternoon today, and tomorrow's draw is going to be critical.
Absolutely, it's very exciting, and we'll see what happens out here this afternoon. But as you said, a lot of moving going on in those standings, and this afternoon is going to be very important to that as we head into the final round robin draw tomorrow. So very exciting. All the other sheets featuring some great matchups as well. Sheet 1 is going to see Dave Collier up against Wayne Tuck. Sheet 3, Damien Villard up against John Buke. And Sheet 4, Team Hegestead up against John Bolton. So Dave Collier, John Buke, and Corey Hegestead all in some important games for themselves out here this evening as well.
Your kind of stay alive kind of games.
Absolutely.
You know, we mentioned on our coverage this morning that 3 losses might have been too much, but the way things are shaping up here, those teams are still in it and can still battle it out for perhaps even a tiebreaker to make their way into Sunday.
It's very exciting times.
So we're just finishing up here with the team practice. So before every game, each of the teams get a 7-minute time out on the ice here and to read the ice and get draw weight and determine what different paths are doing in different areas. And of course the all-important draw to the button to see who gets last rock advantage in the first end. So they've been battling that out, and that's actually a little competition in itself. And the officials do keep track of those scores, and I believe they actually even post them somewhere so the teams can see where they stand, and in relation to other teams that they may end up using those scores in a tiebreaker. So everybody does their absolute best to hit that pinhole every time they try the draw to the button competition. So in the first practice, Team BOWSER, the result of their draw to the button, they ended up in the full 12-foot. So it's certainly not what they were hoping for. You know, you're always trying to make it as tough as possible on the team that practices after you. And so when the time comes for Kathy to draw, it looks like she's going to be doing the draw. She will have to beat a rock that's, for this particular game, only in the 12-foot, but if in the overall picture of things, she's going to still want to make the best possible draw possible.
Exactly. Her overall score from all the games she still wants to keep as low as possible. So even though she only needs a piece of the 8-foot to get the hammer for this game, still trying to keep that score as low as possible. We have seen hammer in the first end be important for some of our teams so far, getting off to a good start. A couple teams that got hammer in the first end ended up scoring multiples with it in the last few draws, so it's turned out to be pretty useful for those teams.
And that's a wonderful advantage in an 8-end game, starting off with a deuce. So for sure, hammer in an 8-end game is critical. So they're working this pretty good, and they've been on it since she let it go. You know, sometimes you might underestimate.
Yes.
You know, I just have to beat a rock in the 12-foot, and she has done so, but they swept that from end to end.
They sure did. That was a great brush.
So it will be last rock advantage to Team AULD. Now, the other thing that we've noticed, we've been on this sheet since Wednesday, and we've noticed a difference as the day goes on in the draw weight. So this morning we were seeing timings, you know, we're hearing the players yell out times of 95 and 90s, and last night we heard some 75s and some 80s, and that's an indication of the elapsed time between the back line and the near hog line. Maybe offer me your thoughts on what you think could be causing that.
It can be a few things. Last night's game was a 9 p.m. draw. It was fairly late in the evening. The temperature outside changed a lot. That can affect the ice conditions. They're also playing another event simultaneously here, the Senior Mixed Provincial Championship. So these sheets are being used in between when our games are featured, and depending on when they're scraping the ice, doing a full scrape, that can affect the speed as well. So sometimes the morning draws just can be that little bit quicker just based on the temperature. So we'll see. It's only 4:30 here this evening, not quite as late as last night's draw, so we'll see if it stays as quick as it did this morning.
So they're just about ready to go. Handshakes have been had, and you see the skips will make their way down to the other end, and we'll be ready for that all-important first rock. Deep breath.
Yes. So Team Bowser's lead, Lauren Harrison, going to be starting us off.
So we'll see. Now, both of these teams have played on this sheet already. So, and of course, we're very familiar with it. So we'll see, you know, if they remember, you know, to take into account what they've learned from the last time they were on it. And ultimately, the playoff games are going to be on this sheet. So hopefully they'll be able to apply everything that they've learned so far to their advantage.
Just short of the rings. So Kathy not able to hit it. Asking lead Jess Bayshard for the draw around.
Lots of line right now. Stay with it though.
You know, she's exactly right. You know, she says stay with it. There's lots of room now, but this is the spot in the ice that has really, really nice
exactly.
finish.
Finish is really hard here.
Okay, just leave it beside. Well, that's fine.
This came up a bit light.
But you know, he was very wide at the onset, and look at where it ended up. If he had had a couple of more feet weight, he would have been dead buried.
Would have been perfect.
It's hard to take enough ice in the side to make it come around. So they get to see these paths during practice, but more and more I find the teams are focusing on draw weight alone, and they don't necessarily work across the sheet. They're really just looking at the draw to the button path.
Yeah, I think I saw Team Bowser throw one or two draws out to the wing on the way up in their practice, but on the way back towards the glass, they threw it all in the draw to the button path. So
another thing I find that they don't practice in their practice time is takeouts. And we've seen a number of takeouts over curl in this exact spot because they don't practice it, and they're not really aware of the amount of finish in the spot. Now this spot here is a little bit different because the farther out you go, the straighter it runs.
on this right away.
Very good sweeping.
Great brushing. Very nice shot. Gets the roll underneath.
So now that the leads have thrown their rocks, they're free to make a play on this guard that's out front of the rings. She's asking her to throw a normal weight takeout here and run that yellow one back onto the one that's buried in the forefoot.
Yes! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
And she called her on right away, but it's much straighter
Wasn't
here.
even out of her hand yet. Just got the single peel.
Now, if you threw it that tight on the other side, it would have required sweeping to hold the line.
Absolutely.
But it's different here. It's on this side of the sheet. It's like a whole different sheet.
Line's good. We got to clear the yellow guard. Yep. Run back. Yep. Hard.
So Team BOWSER here looking to replace that guard.
Line's good. Just to the line. Get it to the line. Make sure it's on the line. Just on the line. Just on the line.
Nice shot there from Sean.
Play that. Same way.
Double peel attempt here.
Yeah, trying to get rid of their red guard as well, I believe.
Yep, yep. Whoa, whoa, yep, yes. Whoa, whoa. Ah, okay. That's fine.
Almost.
So close.
Just touched it.
The other thing I noticed, Rebecca, is that Team AULD have switched up the order of the Yellowstones. They're not throwing them 1 through 8. They have quite a mishmash of combinations going on. So I guess they've received input from the other teams, or they did play a game already on the sheet. So they've seen some anomalies that they think that if some rocks are better matched up with a different
Yes.
a different number other than the natural 1-2
Yes.
setup. Of course, they will be keeping notes all week on that and getting input from other teams. Even though they're all in the same competition, they do share that information. This is kind of funny.
Some of them do.
Some of them do. Or maybe some of them share wrong information.
Yeah. Brandon Corbett now.
Whoa.
So they changed the turn.
Yeah.
Yep. Whoa, whoa. No. No.
Looking like a nose, eh?
Not sure what exactly they were trying. Still the double peel, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think she thought it would cross the face there. It's pretty solid weight.
Yes. Left his shooter up front there, allowing Danielle to throw up another guard.
Doesn't look like the reds are lined up to go back on the yellow, so I
Not
think it's
quite.
still safe for them, for yellow to continue to place the guard. They don't have to go around to interfere with that setup. At some point, though, they might want to put another one in the rings.
Okay, hair more line. Yeah, go, Sean. Yep, go.
This is a really good example of how straight it is here.
Hard. Hard. Hard.
Finish is so late. It's a nice spot.
So perfect guard weight. Changes the shot a little bit for Team AULD here. They're still playing the run back. Oh, look at that one go.
Okay.
just gets that single peel again. Heard from Kathy there. She thinks he might have just got it going a little bit. You have to be so careful with that turn.
Yeah, any help at all, and it just makes the curl even more apparent. Doesn't need any help.
Exactly.
Going with the guard again. They're guarding a very good stone, so.
Yeah, right at the top of the button. This one's a bit deeper. Don't want to leave a double.
Not going to be super happy with that.
Yeah.
Because if Team AULD makes this shot, they'll be in the rings.
Yes. It's just off the nose.
Also interesting to note, of the 8 teams here, Team AULD are the only ones with a female skip. So
Yes,
it changes
the
changes the order of things. You know, you have the lead is now a male and playing against a female. So it standard mixed curling, you have female against female at the lead position. It changes things up a little bit. So this is the best chance she's had to make this double and have a rock in the rings.
Whoa! 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 No! Don't jam it behind them. Okay. That's fine.
She got it off the 4-foot.
Yeah, spilled it over into the side of the 12-foot.
You know, even if, of course, the shot here is to bury this, but even if he doesn't bury it, it's going to be a good force.
Absolutely. Even if you stay in the top of the house on the center line, somewhere in that general area, sit 2 in the rings, Kathy's still going to have to draw.
And even if it's partially open and she takes a run at it, she's going to have to stick her shooter, otherwise that rock over in the 12-foot will count. He must have cut down his ice a lot because his last one stayed like in the 8-foot wide open.
Sean, yes! Hard! Hard! Hard!
I think you can hear more anxiety
Yes.
in their voices today too.
Everyone's starting to feel the pressure of those standings a little bit, I think. It's a nice shot there from Dawn. You can see about half of it from the hack, a bit more than that maybe.
Don't sweep it early unless you see it really get.
So board weight here. She needs to save this shooter and remove that rock that's sitting fully in the 4-foot.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa. No. No. Nothing.
She's got this out there.
It's really got to come back for anything.
She might make contact, but I don't think it's enough.
Okay.
This goes right by. So it will be a steal of 2 for Team BOWSER to start off this game. They'll go up 2-0 over Team AULD. Team AULD will keep the hammer headed into the second end.
Not the start they
Wow.
were looking for.
Not at all. Especially when you have a shot for your 1 like that. Certainly didn't think, looking at that, you were going to be giving up a steal of 2.
Okay, that's fine.
Interesting. And Team AULD have been playing very well. They've won 3 games in a row. You know, they started off 0-2 and have put together a win streak of 3.
Yes, their first win against Team Villard was that big comeback over on sheet 1 there. They were down, I think, 6-1 or something like that.
It was crazy. And they were tied coming home, and she stole the win.
Yes. Been playing very well the last 3 games. Don going to be asking Lauren just to bring this into the rings.
Line's good, line's good.
Nicely
Well done.
Just covers the top part of the pin. Team AULD lead Jess Bayshard now with the corner guard. Jess is originally from Brantford, Ontario, now lives in London. He's also a former professional baseball player, was a 4-time member of Team Canada's baseball team. Comes nice and tight to the rings.
So Lauren Harrison, the lead here on the BOWSER team. They play out of the Thornhill Curling Club, as we mentioned in the intro. And Lauren was born in Toronto and now lives in Newmarket. Which is pretty much still Toronto, right?
Looks like it's in. Trying. Nope, never. Nope, never.
Don't want to be in the rings. And it's
Just shy.
turns out pretty nice.
Did show just a piece on the side with that, facing that corner guard. Kathy just asking Jess for the freeze.
Whoa, right off. Gloria,
This is such a straight spot.
Very sensitive.
It's on the guard at this point. Gee, they could have played it a second earlier. They
Wow.
would have got the tick.
She just missed that call. Leaves it wide open.
Control. Okay.
Yeah, control weight's gonna run very straight here. Not giving much ice at all.
It actually looks like it's floating out a little bit.
Very nice shot.
Yeah, with some solid weight there.
Yeah.
It's now time to do a little bit of cleanup here in aisle 2. Laurie being asked to run this yellow guard into the rock that's sitting in the button. Hopefully removing them both.
Some of our viewers may recognize Laurie's voice. She's commentated with TSL before. She's also a podcaster. Well-known voice if you're listening to her podcast. She's originally from Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, now lives in Dundas.
So Sean Harrison, husband to our lead, Lauren Harrison, and playing second on this BOWSER team from Newmarket, still lives in Newmarket.
got just enough of it for that peel. That yellow's far enough over and far enough back that leaves this freeze attempt for Lori.
You can get around this corner guard and be shot. It'll be a great, they'll be sitting in a great position. I'm pretty sure that's the least amount of curl we've seen in this spot all week.
I was surprised by that. Thought it was going to go much more. Danielle can see a good chunk of this rock from the hack.
So Danielle Inglis, throwing third on this Bowser team, was born in Kleinburg and now lives in Whitby.
Nice shot. Brandon Corbett now. Originally from Rochester, New York. Now lives in Hamilton, trying to get this by that guard. Good sweeping. I think they just hung on for shot rock too. It's a nice shot.
It's a great roll.
Perfect. Forces Danielle to try this run back.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Not quite what she was hoping to do. Left that red stone on the other side of the rings. Left a guard there for Kathy to draw behind.
Good chance here for Team AULD. Set up for their deuce. This is staying right out there and it's heavy. I might have jinxed them by saying they were going to be well set up for their deuce.
Just kicked too hard.
So Don not interested in rolling. He just wants to stay away from the corner. Doesn't want to give any opportunity for the Team AULD to hide anywhere. So Don Bowser, the skip on this team, this is his first year skipping this team. When we asked them how long they've been playing together, he said 2 weekends.
Yes.
The rest of the team have been together for 8 years, and he's been with them for 2 weekends.
Yes. The other 3 of them, of course, defending champions from this event from last year. Actually, our national mixed champions. So they're going to be heading to Worlds out in Kelowna this October.
So Don, born in Peterborough and now lives in the Ottawa area.
Try and roll, huh?
just quickly, on the other sheets, on sheet 1 we have Team Tuck playing Team Collier, and Team Collier took a 2-0 lead in the first end. Over on sheet 3 we have Team Villard playing Team Buke, and Team Buke are up 2-0 there. And over on sheet 4 we have Team Bolton playing Team Hegestad, and Team Hegestad have a 1-0 lead.
Kathy rolled just out into the 12-foot with her shot.
Interesting dynamic. When we just mentioned that Donnie's only been playing with this team for a couple of weekends. It's so difficult, as third and skip. Usually it takes quite a while to, build that rapport and trust the delivery and the release and all that good stuff. And they've been kind of thrown into this provincial championship without ever having played together, because Danielle wasn't available when they went through playdowns.
Yeah, it's incredible. Most players have so many little intricacies to their deliveries and their releases. It can sometimes take a while for the person holding the broom to pick up on those, and they seem to be doing pretty well so far.
They're holding their own, that's for sure.
Whoa, whoa!
Kathy looking for the blank.
Whoa, no!
She gets the perfect roll under
Yes.
the guard, but that's not what she wanted. She wanted to roll out, so
it'll just be a score of 1 there for Team AULD in the second end. That'll make the score 2-1 in favor of Team BOWSER. Team BOWSER will also have the hammer as we play the third.
So keeping in mind that they are being timed for these games, each team starts with 30 minutes of thinking time. Of course, thinking time is the time you spend, thinking about the shot, calling the shot, putting the broom down, player getting ready, going through their routine in the hack, and then sliding out. When they get to the back line, the clock goes off. So we've seen some really, really close calls this week. Way too close for comfort.
We sure have. Some of the teams getting down under the 10-second mark to throw their last stone.
So with the 8 ends, 30 minutes, you want to make sure you have 15 minutes or better for your last 4 ends. Well, knowing as curlers that it could get a little bit more complex as the game goes on, and you might need a little bit more time to confer and talk about your shots. You do get 2 1-minute timeouts, but sometimes the teams are using those timeouts to get themselves set in the hack to throw.
Yes, we've seen that a couple times.
Line's good.
Starting this end with a center guard, nice and tight. It's pretty good.
Starting to curl.
Just a little bit deep there from Lauren, slips into the back 8-foot. Jess Bayshard now going to attempt the draw around his guard that he threw on his first one.
Whoa, no! Yep! Hard! Okay, that's good.
Didn't quite get all the way under.
Solid hack.
Looks like he could probably hit this safely and avoid a contact with the rock in the back of the 8-foot.
Yeah, it needs to curl up to the nose.
Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Great sweeping again.
Jamming it.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't
Maybe
think he
closer
minds.
than I thought.
I don't think he minds getting rid of that rock in the back of the 8-foot.
It's a good shot.
Could have caused him some grief later on.
9.5. Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard. Go. Good. Yep.
Very nice hit and roll.
Nice shot.
It's behind the tee, so let's see Team Bowser here. Try and snuggle one up to that one.
Room. Room. Getting better. Still got room. Lock it on here, guys. Line's getting good then. Yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ah, great job.
Really nice shot.
Very nicely done, and that was way out there.
Yeah. There's been a few this end. They're getting them far enough out there. They're not finishing quite as hard.
They swept that really, really hard too. That
Well done.
so just to draw down and just play another freeze here and try and close off that scoring area.
Whoa. No line yet. No line. Yes. Whoa. Yep.
Going to be a little bit of a bounce on this one.
Good.
Got rid of the backing. That's a pretty good shot.
Very nice.
Yeah, you could try it this way.
Not really wanting to run this rock into that pile. It's his own rock he'd be eliminating, and he'd probably be leaving two red ones in the rings.
Yeah, the angles aren't really set up for him very well.
Whoa.
Nice shot.
Here.
Put the guard back on here.
Whoa.
Seen that a lot in this spot. So hard to throw up the perfect guard.
Very difficult.
I'm just surprised they don't play more in
The other
turns on
way.
this side.
Yeah. Me too.
Control.
But even all week it's been like that. You know, they've consistently played that very swingy turn when they could play the so much straighter one on the other side.
Yeah, the intern would be much easier to manage, I think.
Quickly updating our other sheets. Team Collier have stolen one on Team Tuck and now lead that game 3-0. Over on sheet 3, Team Villard against Team Buke. Score there is 2-1 in favor of Team Buke. And over on sheet 4, the game between Team Hegestad and Team Bolton. Team Bolton scored a big 4 in the second end and now lead by a score of 4-1. So they managed to unlock that situation in the that was where that red rock was frozen to the Yellowstone.
Does leave Team AULD this opportunity to lie too. Very nice shot.
Very nice weight by Brandon. So they're going to try and clear off the front here. Make some room to score. Wow, she avoids the rock in the their own rock, and that's a pretty good shot. At least the yellow one, the guard out front, is now yellow.
Yeah, good. You're not going to make the straight peel. That's a good outcome as well.
And now Team AULD are going to get rid of that yellow rock, and they'll be sitting 4 reds after this if they're successful.
Kathy with her first stone, looking for a little hit and flop. Really having to go.
Well, made the hit and roll, but
yeah, a little
out.
too far a little further than she wanted.
It's that swingy spot again.
Exactly. This spot, on the other hand, much straighter.
She's got to make the cold freeze. The cold drop. She'll be above. Just roll it here. You don't need to roll under. Just like 3 inches. Yeah, I like that with solid hack.
So they're talking about where they want to hit this and where they want their stone to end up. And I really like his thought process here. He's indicating not rolling forward.
He has to make the cold draw. Kind of out, or else he jams back and tries to play it. Solid hack.
The angles won't be good for Team AULD if he makes the shot he's calling now, and he's figuring he's trying to force her into drawing.
Yeah, so just roll a few inches towards the center line. That's it.
It's just so much more.
Just a soft board weight.
So much more predictable on this side.
No! Whoa! Whoa!
Must be close. One's calling yes, the other one's calling no.
Nice shot.
He curled his couple of inches, maybe. It's partly buried.
I think we just play like heavy draws. Because that's really what his was, right?
So heavy draw, but I still think it's lined up
Just like heavy draw.
to jam on the other one.
I think she's hoping she can get to the nose,
Wow.
maybe even the inside of it.
The guard is tight. The rock is partially buried. I don't know. Do you think she can get to nose here?
She's just throwing back 8. It's just dependent on how much finish she gets after that guard.
In the first end,
Might
she
not
threw,
be that much.
Yeah, in the first end she threw down here and she flashed it, just with hack weight.
Whoa. No. No.
The weight looks really nice.
Yep, hard.
Calling for some sweeping so it doesn't jam. Avoids the jam. Good shot.
Just squeaked it by. Stays counting 3. It's a good shot. Forces Dawn Bowser just to have a cold draw to the forefoot.
It's a very good shot by Team AULD. They're sitting 3, all spread out. Now, I do believe that he could draw to the back one and still be counting, so you don't want to be really throwing to backing, but it's there if he needs it.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe it needs to be in a bit. Just on that half though.
Final stone here in the third end. Dawn Bowser looking for his single point.
Needs to make sure he leaves himself enough room by that guard.
They were on this right away.
Needs 8 foot. My goodness, pulls a string.
Yeah. Came up very light, so it will be a steal of 3 for Team AULD. So they'll go up 4-2 now. Playing the fourth end, Team Bowser will have the hammer. Really been a game of steals so far. Kathy missed in the first end to give up a steal of 2. Now Bowser answering back, giving a steal of 3.
It's like the hammer is not your friend in this game.
Yeah. Like you said, you never want to be throwing to backing. Sometimes when you have backing, you kind of overthink it a little bit. Came up light. So Jess Bayshard starting us off. Jess is the 2017 Ontario Silver Tankard champion. One of his proudest moments in curling was winning the 2016 Ilderton Curling Club Men's Club Championship. It's good for you, Jess. Just slips into the back of the 8 foot.
Line's good.
So Lauren's accomplishments include winning the National Canadian Mixed in 2017. So we already mentioned that as part of this team. And they went to the World. They're going to the Worlds this year, so it's quite a bizarre setup how the mixed runs. But they play in the spring. They go to nationals in the fall, and if they win that, they go to Worlds the following year. It's quite a spread out event. And the
Very
highlight
long process.
Very long. And the highlight of her career, her proudest moment, was winning that title last year. Be able to wear the maple leaf.
Absolutely. And to do it with your husband makes it even more special.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it out of my hand.
Yep. Okay, that's good, that's good. That's good.
That one really stayed
Wow.
out there.
Haven't seen anything take that line of.
No.
I thought if I went out a little bit more, it would be okay, but back there. No, it's fine.
Lauren going to attempt this freeze now. That rock in the back 8 foot.
A little tight.
Oh, they're working this one hard.
Yeah, she slid a bit tight of the broom.
It's a tremendous amount of finish in this spot.
Tiny bit light as well. Laurietti, former Ontario provincial champion and a silver medalist at the National Scotties. One of her proudest moments receiving her Scotties ring. I'm sure that's a special moment. She wanted to send a shout out to her husband Mike and her daughter Ashlyn. Hi guys, if you're watching.
Sean, of course, a part of that 2018 Ontario Canadian Mixed with skip Mike Anderson. He's also the 2003 Ontario Winter Games. Doesn't say that they won it, but he was also with Mike Anderson. And he's most proud of that mixed championship from last year. Goes without saying, right?
They had a great run.
She successfully avoids jamming onto her own rock at the back of the house, but does pop out one of the other counties that had sitting there. So red sits 2. Sean would like to send a shout out to his nephew Harry.
Trying this freeze again.
Danielle's in. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Danielle's in. Hard then. Whoa, whoa. Not going. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa.
This is a really nice looking shot here.
Nicely done.
Nose is okay too. Go firm because it's easier to come this way.
Third, Brandon Corbett, man of many talents. He's an inventor. He's working on a technology for tracking line of delivery on curling stones. He calls it curling vision. He's also a pilot and an a cappella singer. He started a group at McMaster University, he was telling me yesterday. Nice shot there.
He actually said he was surprised we knew what a cappella was.
Yes.
He doesn't think it's popular, but we told him, well, we both knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
We should have broke out into song when he said that.
We should have.
Danielle has many, many curling accomplishments. Just most recently, 2018, they lost the final of the Ontario Scotties. And the team that won it asked her to go with them to the Scott Tournament of Hearts as a 5th. So
Yes, Team
that's
Duncan.
pretty nice. That's pretty nice when that happens. They must really have, I know they played together previously in university, so Holly Duncan, she went along to Penticton as the 5th and their coach.
Yes. All those girls are very close. It was great to see her get to go with them. Made the double there on her last shot, but couldn't roll her shooter, so Brandon now just going to hit that open stone. Brandon was at the U.S. Nationals in 2014, 15, and 16. Also been to many U.S. Junior Nationals. And he won the silver medal there in 2008. Also want to just send a shout out to his brother Derek. They're team members for 16 seasons. Just hung his shooter on at the edge of the 12-foot there. Far enough out in the wing now. Team BOWSER just going to ignore that, use that corner guard that they have.
Well, they do want to set up for two. They're ignoring that red counter. They have a chance to put one buried here in the 8-foot, so. It's just a bit deep, but Team AULD will have to deal with it.
Yeah, slip behind the tee line, but it is buried, so Kathy's going to play the freeze.
Yeah, no, I like that was my first thought.
Okay, what are we looking at here?
Kathy, a very accomplished skip, played in over 10 Ontario Women's Provincial Championships. She's played in a Road to the Roar, won many tour championships, so been a staple here in Ontario for a long time. She has one of her proudest moments in curling is watching her daughter win the Ontario Juniors, so it's nice she put one of her daughter's accomplishments on there as well.
TSL covered that U21 championship this year. She was a nervous wreck when her daughter was curling. You see all the moms sitting there just wringing their hands. This is on the guard.
Yes. Just rolls on as a biter.
Yeah, the weight was just a bit down. Even if she'd gotten by, she wouldn't have been shot.
I don't think so. She was still a couple feet light.
It's very kind.
It's a nice answer. You weren't wide.
Kathy just checking with her third. She asked him if he was tight. She was tight, and he said, "Well, you weren't wide." It's kind of a nice positive answer.
Yeah. Dawn just able to split the rings now. Trying to draw to the other side.
Dawn has a lot of accomplishments as well in this curling. He says, though, that his proudest moment in curling is right now. He lives in the now. He's moving to Quebec, so this is his last Ontario championship.
Yes, going out there to be with his fiancée, Lauren. We'll miss him here in Ontario, but I'm sure he's going to do great things out there as well.
Okay. Double's not there, but this is. Just 10. I'm wondering if it's going to curl in this spot. Yeah. That other one I threw down here didn't curl, remember?
Kathy wanted to send a shout out to her husband Rob, as well as her 3 kids, Courtney, Kayla, and Harrison.
I just heard her say, remember the last time I threw down here, it didn't curl. This is really a curling spot. I'm surprised that...
Yeah, there it goes.
Hard! Whoa! Whoa! Go, Jess!
She's actually just overswept it.
Yeah, if they'd come off just a hair sooner, she would have rolled right under cover. Now this is pretty much wide open and a shot for 2.
Nice control, yeah.
Just a hit and stick here for his 2 points. Don Bowser with the final rock here in the 4th end.
This will come up here. He's going to want to make sure that he keeps his sweepers close.
Just clean.
Nice shot. Nice end there from Team Bowser, rebounding after giving up that big steal. So that will tie things up 4 points apiece at the end of our first half.
So the teams are going to take a 5-minute break here, and we will do so also, and we'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back to our feature game here between Team BOWSER and Team AULD. We have a really, really good game underway here, Rebecca. The game is tied at 4-4. It's a really important game for both teams, and I think we can expect to see lots of offense in the second half here.
We sure can. Was an interesting first half, as we said, 2 big steals given up. So I think both teams are going to work really hard to try and utilize their hammer really well when they have it. As you said, it's a tie game at this point, so it's almost like we're starting over.
It is, and we've already had a couple of like big, as you mentioned, steals. Like the momentum of those steals is first one happening in the first end, and then with that big steal of 3 in the third end, it was like the momentum is just shifting back and forth here.
It certainly is. It takes a lot out of you mentally to give up a steal like that, and both teams had that 5-minute break there to reset a little bit. Try and come back fresh here in the 5th end.
Yeah, you gotta go back. Yep, go. Hard. We're just gonna put it back.
Saw a nice guard there from Lauren. Jess's rock slid just at the back of the button, which not exactly where they wanted it. Leaves this freeze open for Lauren.
And so many important key games going on out here. You know, there are a couple of teams that are, 6 out of the 8 teams are still very much in the playoff picture, and they're just fighting for their lives out here.
Danielle's in then. Got a curl. You can go now. Yep. Hard. Go.
This is really close.
Hard.
Just shy of shot rock, but still a good spot.
Just inside of it. Same line you had.
They've played this draw so much. It's crazy how they're favoring this side of the sheet.
It's really interesting. I mean, I understand it. They like the curl, but does seem to be working for them most of the time. Having a go on this one. Just leaves it as a guard. Team BOWSER, without the hammer, really trying to close in that 4-foot.
Just watching Team AULD here, they just had a little conversation about the rocks. So they're struggling a little bit about the difference in distance that they're getting from that set of stones. They're talking about switching them off because predominantly the second throws hits, and it wouldn't be as obvious that that one rock is not gliding as well as another if you're always throwing hits with them.
3/4.
Sean just a smidge heavy on his, but made a tap. They're lying 2 now. Forcing Kathy to try and peel these center guards.
No, never. Okay, good.
That's well done.
Spilled them both off the center line.
Guard this one.
So Don BOWSER indicating that he would like to guard the rock that's a little bit higher in the house. It has some backing with it. The one that's on the corner of the button is set up angle such that it might get pushed onto that red one in the back of the 4-foot. Looks like he's guarded. He's semi-guarded both of them.
Yeah, not a bad spot.
Yeah. I think just 10 because we need to get a little bit of finish. 10. Yeah. Yep.
They're going to take a pass at the double here, Rebecca. See if they can get both of those yellow ones moving.
Whoa. No.
Let's see if she can get enough of that top one from behind that guard.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
I think she's just going to jam it onto the
Yeah.
other one.
Ooh,
Good shot.
Okay, that's good.
moved them both off the forefoot. That's good. Left
a great
her
shot.
sitting shot stone. Well done.
Board.
Team Bowser still not in bad position. Their objective this end being to force Team AULD to a single point. Try to hit this rock and lay 3. It's really taken off on them.
Yep. Whoa.
Nice sweeping.
She may actually roll under the guard. Oh, good shot.
Just right on the nose.
It leaves Team AULD at a hit and roll and in front of a yellow rock, so it'll be a little bit harder to remove if they make this shot. Board weight.
Definitely like to roll away.
I think board weight in this spot is really going to curl.
You have to be really careful with that weight here.
No, no.
This one's...
Yeah.
There it
They're
goes.
going to go.
Hard. Hard. Go. Go, Lori.
Just looks like it's hanging out there and then breaks.
Control.
There's no opportunity here to roll under because they'll jam up against their own if they go too hard for a roll. She pretty much has to hit it on the nose or roll a little bit to the broom side is all she's got here.
Yeah, just roll outwards away from the center line towards the wing a little bit.
Yep. 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 Hard.
Very nicely done.
Nice shot.
Avoids the jam and sits right on the tee line.
I don't mind even right there. Okay. Same way.
I'll bring you up to date on the other sheets here. The Tuck team have come back and tied this game up on sheet 1. They're all even at 3 each against Team Collier.
Yes, Dave Collier had a double on his final stone for a couple. Just missed it. Gave up the steal of 1. Very close game over there.
Whoa. Whoa. No.
Over on sheet 3, Team Villard versus Team Buke. And it looks like Team Buke have come back in that game, and it's now
That's good.
5-1 in their favor. And Team Bolton against Team Hegstead over on sheet 4. We have Team Bolton still ahead there by a score of 5-3.
I didn't want to roll, and I didn't want to make the double because that rock is right.
So they're in about pretty much the same situation here. They can't go too aggressive to roll under the guard because they'll jam on their own rock. It's more important here that they remove this red rock regardless of where they end up. Just don't want to jam it on their own.
Exactly. Just make it go away.
Good.
Great shot.
That weight that you were throwing, like,
It's a little bit of gamesmanship there, eh? Rebecca, as he's sliding past Kathy Auld, he says, pretty hard for her to make the roll without jamming. It's kind of like...
He knows she can hear him.
Exactly. Like, maybe you shouldn't try that because you're probably going to jam.
She is going to take a pass at it, though. I think it's there now.
let's draw 10. Might be easier to roll. 10 and a half. Whoa. Whoa. No. No. No.
Yeah, she's not getting the roll.
Okay.
But she does make the
Makes
double.
the double.
All right, same weight, Danielle, I think.
Now Team Bowser can go aggressive here to roll underneath the guard, and they'll be in front of the tee line. Keeping
Yeah,
in mind
good
that they do have
opportunity
another
here.
little yellow saver over behind the long red corner, so it's either going to be a force. If he makes this roll, perhaps even a steal.
Final stone from Don Bowser here in the 5th end. Looking to make the roll underneath the guard.
Did they lose the line on that, Rebecca? I can't
Still
see from
very
my
close.
vantage here.
Hard! No, no!
Wow, they just stopped sweeping it all together.
Yeah, Danielle just called them off right at the end.
It's okay. I mean, it worked. They're in the 4-foot.
Nice shot. Kathy not taking the risk, trying to remove that stone. She just got a draw.
That's the spot she gave up the steal in
Yes.
the first end, so she's just going to take her lumps here and draw for one. She needs almost a piece of the button. Just confirming draw weight with her team here, with her sweepers. I mean, this path should just be lightning fast. It played every shot of this
They've
end.
played
has
a
been-
lot in this path.
Fine, take a look. Wait for key. Wait only. Line's fine.
Just a question of whether or not she's got button. And she does.
Great shot.
Great shot.
Really nice throw. Good judging from the sweepers there. Just cleaned it most of the way in. So it will be a score of 1 for Team AULD here in the 5th end. They'll take a 5-4 lead over Team Bowser. Team Bowser going to have the hammer as we start the 6th.
Good, very good game. Lots of shots made in this end, that last end.
Yeah, that was a good end.
Nice force by Team Bowser.
Lead Jess Bayshard. Little surprised here, Barb. She's calling it in.
Yeah, with only a 1-0. I think
I think it's
Dawn's
going to come up light, but
Just tight, Ben.
I think Dawn was going to go for the corner regardless of what she did, though.
yeah.
He's got hammer in the even ends. So in Lauren's spare time, she likes playing with her dog Roxy and planning their home renovation with husband Sean. She wanted to send a shout out to her parents, Jeff and Leslie, and her mother-in-law, Jane, her uncle Ross, and her brothers, Connor and Kevin, and don't forget the dog, Roxy. So I hope they're all watching and cheering.
Yes. Needs to sit. Looks like it stopped just in time.
That's got to be super close.
It's very close.
Okay, line's good. Lots of room. Lots of room. Whoa, he's out there. Whoa. Okay.
That's
Jess
the
has gotten a
second.
couple of his out in this spot. Yeah.
I was just going to say that. We haven't seen anything hang out like that, and he's done it twice.
Nice weight.
Board.
And then so come around. Whoa. I'll give you a bit more less.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Looking for the hit and flop.
Yep. Okay, never mind. We're in the middle. We're in the middle. Okay.
Just noses it.
Yeah.
10.5. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. 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 No. 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 Whoa. Whoa.
Looking for the inside roll here, but just managed to hit it
Just
on the
nose
nose.
again.
Sits right there, just biting the forefoot.
Board.
Sean's hobbies include golf and pool.
Close. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Really gotta go. Hard. 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 Right to it. Hard.
They're going to get a roll
Yep. 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 Yep.
behind their corner.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
and it
big
just
roll.
spins back.
Yes. Out into the side of the 8-foot. Good shot.
9.5. Yep.
Lori likes hiking, baking, art, golfing, and oversharing, apparently.
Oh, yeah, she's the oversharer.
She is the oversharer.
Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
I know firsthand that she's a good baker. She brought all kinds of stuff when we
Oh, lucky
TSL
you.
covered the senior event, and she was our treat. She was bringing us cookies and all kinds of goodies.
Team Bowser is still shot stone over there on the side, so just asking Sean to draw around those center line stones to get second shot.
Close. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Room. Room. Room.
Yeah, you know, they swept that pretty hard, and
Yeah, they had to go for line.
set up perhaps a double here.
A little bit flat, but it is there.
If he does make the double, the same draw will still be there.
No. 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 Good.
Nice shot.
Good.
So he cleared
Lost
everything
his
out.
shooter, but did remove both yellows.
Going to try that same draw again. If they can get one buried here, it'd be a pretty good setup with the staggered red rocks in front of it. And if they put a top 4, they'll leave themselves an opportunity to score to their deuce on the other side, perhaps.
Yeah, just full 4. Top of the 4 foot. Don't want to be too deep. Then if Team AULD freezes to you, makes a draw in for a second point more difficult.
Danielle's hobbies include aquafit, Zumba, and yoga, but her last one is my favorite. She likes red wine tasting.
Ooh.
And I've helped her taste
Yes.
a few of those.
Came up short there on that draw.
Perfect line, too.
Yes.
But it's usable. Can be tapped later.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Yes. Hard. Gotta go.
This one's really over curling.
I'm wondering if the ice hasn't changed a little bit, Rebecca.
Struggling a little bit this end.
I don't know. I kind of take him around. They got runs everywhere. Come take a look.
You have Brandon's shot change the angles on that yellow tap just enough. Made it more difficult.
Let's listen into their conversation here. They're going to talk about their next shot.
Shooter on this. You can stuff it in there. She's got a short run. Yeah, exactly. I know. That's why I thought this shot might be the best. Right. But if we ever make a no shot, it's not bad. It's either that or you try and stuff this in here, let her throw the run, and we're probably blanking. Yeah. Okay. I like it. It's like a quarter. This will be pretty straight here. Normal. Normal, because we need to make sure that goes. Yeah. All right, okay.
Okay, so they talked about a couple of options there, Rebecca. They first looked at the double on the 2 red ones that are on the other side of the sheet. If they had nose hit that, they'd get rid of 2 reds and sit right there in a promotable spot. But they've elected to go with a takeout, quarter rock takeout here on the yellow. And I think they can save that rock in the ring somewhere, that yellow one.
Trying to send it into that red in the top 12 foot and hoping that it stays there. Maybe spins back a bit deeper into the house a bit.
Whoa.
Just a bit of a pop when she went to release that. I don't know if it's going to come back for a...
It's a very sensitive spot. It's going to go right by everything. Bit of an unforced error there.
Yeah, she was just coming out of her delivery and just set it a bit. And extended and just extended away from the target.
Well, okay, so where do you want to put the broom then?
Leaves Kathy a free draw.
Are we
Going to be tough to remove if she can get this buried in there.
It still got to the corner of the forefoot, yours. It just never got to the center line, right? Settle left!
Wow, I think the more you cut down on the ice here, I'm not sure this is enough to get by, but we'll see in a minute.
Even if she's half open, it's not that bad, but wrecking on that guard.
Gotta go! Yes!
I just didn't think she should have moved the broom there.
Yes! There, good. Okay, I think
Just listening to the conversation here. Let's see what the BOWSER team are going to be up to here. So Don's going to play the come around here because he thinks that she's eliminated any angles that she would have in for a run back. She has a nice little angle for a tap to the forefoot, but that's about it.
Yeah, if he keeps this on his on this side of the center line that he's throwing on, then she doesn't really have an angle.
So Don likes golf and gambling. And he wants to send a shout out to his fiancée, Lauren.
No. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard.
It's just didn't get the finish there, and so difficult drawing on that side of the sheet.
It is really tricky. It's nice weight. This rock is almost fully exposed for Kathy to hit it. Try and sit right there, and she'll be able to force Team BOWSER to a shot for a single point. This is her final stone here in the sixth end.
I don't think she can get to the inside of this, but you never know.
So straight over here, I don't think so either.
Whoa! Whoa! No! No!
It's going to hit the outside of it. May even roll out.
Hard! Good.
Just enough of it to remove it from play.
Boy, Team
May
BOWSER.
have a double on those two reds at the top
Yeah.
of the house to try and blank the end.
Wow. Yeah, so there's a really good question. Do we take one and then try and force her in 7? Let's listen in here.
I like this.
There's a little bit of risk here.
Yeah, I was going to say the only thing I don't like about this shot, if you ever come up almost to the nose, you're giving up another steal.
I think this
Or
will
if
have
you hit
some,
it too thin as well.
I think this will have some heat on it.
The hair more, Danielle.
My goodness.
Great
that was
shot.
Very well executed.
Nicely done. It's never a doubt. Pretty confident in that shot. You will get the blank, so the score will stay 5-4 in favor of Team AULD. Team BOWSER going to retain the hammer as we head into the 7th end.
So a quick update on our other sheets. Team Collier have retaken the lead over on sheet 1. They now lead 4-3. Over on sheet 3, the score is 5-2 in favor of Team Buke. And over on sheet 4, the score remains 5-3 in favor of Team Bolton. They blanked the 5th end.
Yeah, a little soft on the end of that. Yep. Hard. Gotta go. Yep. Oh, not it. Good. Good.
Nice and tight to the rings.
Probably wanted that more in the center line, but
Yes.
it's guarding a good portion of the forefoot. Is corner guard coming here?
It's gotta work. It's gotta curl.
And this is a spot we've seen that it runs so straight, and even when they do successfully
keep
put up the
going if you
guard,
can, Sean.
it's so hard to go around it here.
Keep going. You gotta get it past the 4-foot line. Hard. Yeah, good sweep, guys. Pinched your hair, eh? Oh, Lori threw a couple of.
Kathy asking Jess for the come around.
Just outside the line. I think if I have my hair wider, it might curl up.
Yep. Yes. Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right.
Quite a bit light.
Yeah, there's no point in killing your sweepers here when they've indicated it was only a 3.
Okay.
So now let's watch this come around attempt here. In previous games, it's been almost impossible to make this come around draw.
Very difficult.
Room early.
Runs so straight for so long.
0 line.
Look at that, it's still hugging the center line.
Yes.
The tick would have really helped there.
Just going to be wide open.
Might as well take it back as far as they can so she can't roll behind, but it's opportunity here for Team AULD. This board weight here, it's so straight. Board's all you need. I think she's got it.
Very nice. Just rolled open.
And they swept it all the way.
Yes.
Kathy's just indicating to the sweepers that it had more weight, and they didn't communicate that to her, and she was thinking it was light. So that's why she had them sweeping it so hard.
Exactly. If they would have hit that same rock in the same spot, but with board weight, the roll would have been perfect. Close to the roll here.
Yeah, to get it right back.
It's a nice shot. So
it's mostly buried. With the amount of curl you get here, you could probably tap that through with back line.
Probably could.
But I think they're going for the freeze here. They'd obviously like to force a single here. It's a really good crowd here at the Quinte Curling Club watching this game, and of course the home team is playing on sheet 1.
In a very close game against Team Tuck. Taps that just behind the tee line. Very nice shot.
So he just wants to get a little bit on the inside of this so that perhaps he can make a play on it later. Just a quick update on sheet 1 here. The home team, I was just mentioning, it was such a good crowd here cheering them on. They just stole 2 and now lead the undefeated Team Tuck by a score of 6-3.
5-4.
They just stole 2.
They are yellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. 6-3.
Over on sheet 3, our game score there is now 6-2 in favor of Team Buke. And we're having a timeout call on our sheet, so we'll just listen in and see what they're saying.
Well, the other option is this. The other option is this, right?
That is so hard. I mean, for them to get it.
Yeah. Do you guys like the guard? Okay, so here, right? There. Yeah. I know. But the only thing is, it's likely, like he's got to play it over the top to get it this way, or this one's going to pop out, right? No, I don't like that. No, I think you're up there. Okay. Yeah.
So time is back in, and they've decided to throw a guard on the situation. I think they're fairly convinced that they can prevent Team BOWSER from getting their second point here.
This was kind of my concern when Don called that freeze.
Mm-hmm. How do you get in there for another one?
Exactly.
Now
He's got to play the
shot
wide,
yeah.
the wide intern.
Hard, guys. You got to get it over. Over and off. Oh, over and off. Over and off. That's not good. All right.
So they actually really haven't covered anything with that
No.
shot. You know, could he ever, make a back line type contact with his own yellow rock and get rid of that red one? I mean, like, maybe not. Doesn't really want to. Can he get rid of the yellow one and not without touching his red one? He's not going to go there. He's going to try and clean up the front. Okay, so she removes the longer guard. This leaves the same situation here for Team AULD. Just put up a better guard.
Yeah. Gives them a second shot at it.
That's such a vile spot.
It's so tricky.
Look at how those are lined up now, those red ones. I'm wondering if the very last one wouldn't go into that yellow one in the back of the forefoot. Really want to nose it. Ooh.
Oh boy.
He's actually just made a couple of shots for Team AULD.
Yeah, he made that worse.
He's not going to have
She
much.
guards his draw path. He's not going to have much.
Well, I think they think that I think Team AULD doesn't think that draw is there. I do.
I think so.
The guard is long enough.
He can come down and sit right on top of his own yellow, I think.
He's red, though. Oh,
Bowser's yellow.
Sorry, yes. It's AULD's shot. Yeah. Yeah, there's certainly a red-yellow.
A red, yellow, red combination,
Yes.
yeah.
Actually, what about the other side, too?
That far right yellow as we're looking at it.
Even that one. Can't guard everything, right?
No, exactly.
Well, that's quite messy there. Well, with the weight that Don can throw, I think he can move some granite here.
Absolutely. Just see what he thinks here.
Pretty much everything looks like he'd be running a red one in, though. If he makes the shot on the left side, he's running a red one in. If he makes the shot on the right side, he's running the red one in.
Yes.
He really needs to open things up and make a path for himself. And this one's got some steam on it. Well, he's opened up both sides, but the middle's still blocked up. Oh, he needs to be careful he doesn't leave that. Like, this is full, the yellow-red is fully exposed now.
It is. That's her primary objective now, is to protect against that shot. both of his draws are extremely difficult.
So still not playing the intern side of the sheet here,
Yes.
even though she wants her rock to end up on this side. So bizarre.
Yeah, I would definitely be playing the intern here because even if you're, yeah, you want to leave a bit of a port there, if anything. I guess they feel they know this side a bit better.
For sure.
They've certainly been throwing it a lot. Kathy AULD's final stone here in the 7th end.
She thinks that her rock is picked.
No.
It's going to end up pretty good. Oh, no, there's
May
an
have
opening down the middle.
just over curled.
The middle is open. The middle is open for a shot for 3.
It's tight, but it's there.
I just thought she could get more out of the other turn.
The other turn. Absolutely.
Even if she just took ice on the edge of the forefoot. And there's so much finish with the outturn. It's so hard to control the sweepers, everything.
Very
Her weight
difficult
was
to manage.
perfect. And he's
Big
throwing
shot
the
here.
outturn. Wow. This would be a big game changer here. We have our first final of the day.
Got this
Team
way
Buke
out there.
winning on sheet 3. He's on the guard.
Got this
On
way
the
out there.
guard.
So it'll be a steal of 1 for Team AULD. Lots of back and forth there in that end again. Really just trading momentum back and forth a lot here this game. So that will take us to a score of 6-4 for Team AULD
I'm a little
as we head
surprised.
into the last end.
I'm a little surprised at the turn he picked there. We know how straight, again, the intern is. I'm just surprised he didn't throw it down the straight path.
I think visually it did look a little bit more natural just because that red guard that Kathy had just thrown was a bit higher. And sometimes when you're coming through a port, it looks like you have more room when you're
the
coming
other
through
turn.
it that way. But as you say, the intern is so much more predictable. Could have just put it almost right in the center of the rock, thrown a heater, and it's just going to run straight down there.
I think he just had a little, he was just a little full of the broom there. And
Yes.
with that kind of weight, even though it's the curly side, it didn't break for him.
Goes just into the top 12 foot.
So Team Bowser needing the deuce here to send this to an extra.
Nice corner guard there from Lauren.
See, he wanted to, I think they had a conversation about changing the order he was throwing his rocks in.
Yes, they did. He's throwing, I think, number 7 and number 3, I believe, and he had been throwing 3 and then 7, and I think he was going to start throwing 7 first.
Another corner guard being asked here from skip Don BOWSER.
So much less curl that way. Just guarded that red stone.
So time, both teams are pretty good for time, one with 6+ minutes and the other one with 4.5 minutes. So they've elected just to play the single peel here.
Yes.
Think he's going to come around this?
Yeah, he's playing the come around freeze.
He's a little heavy.
Danielle calling 10. That's back 12 foot. It's looking very heavy.
And that other guard is about to take
Yes.
a beating. So our game on sheet 1, Team Tuck were able to score 2 in the 7th, and now trail 6-5 to Team Collier.
Another nice peel there from Lori.
Team BOWSER really needing a corner guard here to try and generate their deuce.
Good throw there from Sean.
Team AULD wanting to get rid of this and avoid hitting any of their rocks in the house.
Exactly.
Very
it
tight
will
guard.
curl up here.
Yeah, that's a super tight guard.
That's what Team BOWSER was hoping for. He's got the nose hit.
You called it though. Really curls there.
Yeah.
Chance here for them to bury one around this corner guard.
Wow.
Just
rubbed
brushes. Her weight she's been pretty
was
deep.
just a bit heavy. Yeah, I think that's why Dawn was a little hesitant to sweep it sooner. Just left it a little bit too long.
I don't think Team AULD want to sit right there either.
Even now taking this curly turn. Nice shot. Team Bowser still has a few rocks they can try and use for backing. Gonna try and tap this back just slightly.
Really bump it like about a foot.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Doesn't really look like bump weight, does it?
It's not heavy.
Very nice.
It just froze, and that's not bad either.
So who's shot? I don't think she can pick it. It's frozen to the one behind it. She's going to be throwing fairly firm weight here. The brush is right, maybe 3 inches off the corner of the stone.
Yeah, gotta throw quite a bit of weight. Gotta be a little careful it doesn't spill into that other red stone as well. Those rocks are frozen, so it's gonna drag sideways a little bit. Ooh, just underneath it.
That is an amazing shot.
That's good.
Let's have a listen here. We have lots of time, 3.5 minutes.
Same way I threw you a couple ends.
Just playing the straight draw, I think, Barb?
I think so, yeah. We're trying to set it up such that if she makes the run, but tries the run back, that it'll jam into that red rock at the back of the button.
Sweepers kind of jumped it. It's going to be wide open.
This will be a shot to end the game.
Yes, Team Bowser needing 2 points to tie this up. Kathy AULD, her final stone here in the 8th end, looking to end it right here. Just a bit tight. Good sweeping. Just really brought that out. Nice shot. So it will be Team AULD with the win here in draw 6. They will advance to a 4-2 record. Don Bowser dropping to 3-3. Great game here this afternoon.
That was. So that concludes our coverage of this afternoon's game. Please join us again at 1 p.m. tomorrow for our live coverage of the final draw of this event, final round-robin draw. Our feature game will be between Team Buke and Team Hegstead. On behalf of Rebecca and myself and the entire TSL crew, thank you for joining us today.